Hello, my name is Sophie, and welcome to my June TBR as a slow reader who chronically overestimates how much I can get done in any given length of time. Yippee! We've never done one of these before, so this is very exciting. But don't be coming into this video thinking that I'm going to be setting realistic expectations as to how much I'm going to read in the next month, because it's just not going to happen. I personally prefer to set my expectations way too high and then be both surprised and disappointed every time that I don't achieve what I expect to. That's just how we roll over here. So, yeah, moral of the story, don't expect me to be sensible with this TBR, because you'll be disappointed. And then that will make two of us. Oh, okay. In all seriousness, I am going on holiday in June, which is why I'm putting more books in my TBR than I normally would, because in my mind, I'm thinking I'm going to be on holiday, so I'm going to be able to read about 5,000 books more than I normally would be able to read. And this will not be the case. I already know that the likelihood of this being the case is very, very low, because I probably will be doing more stuff on holiday than I do in my day-to-day life. But a girl can dream. And for lots of people, this TBR might actually not seem that unachievable. However, as mentioned before, I read very, very slowly. I've mentioned this in previous videos. I did a 24-hour reading challenge in which I was determined that I would be able to read the 10 books that I got for my birthday. To no one's surprise except my own, that was not the case. You'd have to watch it though to find out how many books I actually managed to read. Shameless plug. I did stay awake for well over 24 hours though, so I would appreciate it if you could maybe watch that one so that my loss of sanity and also sleep does not go to waste.
Ew!
All this to say, we might as well just get straight into it. Okay, the first book on my TBR is Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. Woo! Yippee! Yippee! And Twisted Hate is 504 pages long. This is the third book in the Twisted series. The first two books are Twisted Love and Twisted Games. I have read this series before, but I wanted to make a video where I tier ranked the books in the series from my most favorite to my least favorite. And from what I can recall, this is my least favorite in the series. So I can't say I'm really excited to get into it. And the reason is because there is so much miscommunication trope in this book that I wanted to cry. It actually quite upset me, if I remember rightly. I read this book and I found it upsetting. But I am going to be reading it so that I can make an accurate tier list. To give you a little lowdown, it's about the best friend of Ava Chen, who was the main character in book 1. Her name is Jules, and she is a sassy redhead, one of my own. And then also Josh, who is Ava's brother. So it's Ava's best friend and Ava's brother. And canonically, so far, this whole series, they have despised each other. It is a well-known fact that they hate each other's guts. Hence the name Twisted Hate. Right? Right? And obviously with this hate comes a lot of tension that maybe or maybe not comes out in other ways, if you know what I mean. That gave you nothing. I just gave you nothing there, and I'm so sorry about that. The back of the book explains to us that they come to a sort of enemies with benefits kind of situation. Like friends with benefits, except they hate each other. But then obviously, maybe some real feelings get involved. Maybe a little bit. But Jules has a lot going on in her life, and that complicates quite a few things for them. But I will say no more, so as not to spoil anything. So I can't say I'm hugely looking forward to reading this book, but I know I need to read it just to remind myself why I didn't really like it so much. And I can safely say to myself that I know what happens, so I don't need to worry too much, because I know what happens in the book. There won't be any unpleasant surprises, so it's okay. I can keep telling myself that as I'm reading it. But yes, this is book 1 of my TBR. Let's move on to the second book. All right, book 2, Twisted Lies by Anna Huang. We've got a bit of a theme going on here. This is the final book in the Twisted series, and this one is about Stella. She's in the friendship group. She is a really famous influencer, right? So it revolves around her, and it revolves around this other guy called Christian Harper, who is super, super rich and a billionaire, but also he's really shady. He's a really shady guy. And he is actually obsessed with Stella in a rather unhealthy way. And basically, she ends up living with, not with him, but in this apartment complex that he owns because he's a really rich, shady billionaire. He lets her move into this apartment at like a really lowered price because he's obsessed with her. And she accepts because she's desperate. And also, I believe she is being stalked. So I can't imagine where that possibly could go. This book is 559 pages long. I liked Twisted Lies a lot more than I liked Twisted Hate, personally. The only hurdle that I struggled to get over with Twisted Lies was that my mother's name is Stella. So you can imagine the main character of this romance novel having the same name as my mum was an interesting thing to overcome. But we don't think about that kind of thing. I don't call her Stella, I just call her my mother. So it doesn't matter. But I did really enjoy this one, if I remember. I've only read this one once because I never wanted to read Twisted Hate again. I think I didn't enjoy it as much as the second book in the Twisted series, which was Twisted Games, which is my personal favourite. But I could be coming back to you saying something completely different. So I'm excited to read this one. One thing about me is I love a reread of a book. I can reread the same book over and over and over again because I have the memory of a sieve, and so I just forget everything that happens. Twisted Lies, I would say, is definitely erring more on the side of dark romance than Twisted Hate. Twisted Hate, I think, is more of like just a contemporary romance. Okay, moving on. We're shifting a bit away from the Anna Huang territory and further and deeper into the dark romance territory. Brace yourselves. The next book on my TBR is You Have My Attention by Rebel Rose. Look at this. Wow. This book feels really goofy to me. And I couldn't tell you why. Have not opened a page of it, but just the cover really makes me giggle. You have my attention. You know what has my attention? The cover of this book. She's wild. She's crazy. She's dark. She's giving Rebel Rose. And as it says on the front cover here, it is a dark stalker romance. Okay. It's 382 pages long. The main female character's name is Laurette, and the main male character's name is Bastien. An interesting choice for sure. And as the front cover says, Bastien, he's obsessive and a stalker. And Laurette is the person he is stalking. Now, have I done any research into this book whatsoever? No. Did I just go off of the front cover and the sheer vibes? Yes. Did I just Google crazy romances and pick whatever came up? Yes, I did. I did in fact do that. And am I going to regret that decision? Possibly. I don't really know what to say about this because the blurb gives us very, very little. It's giving every dark romance that you have ever heard of. He stalks her, he writes her notes, and she likes it a little bit. We are given very nothing. We are given very nothing going in. And I feel that sums it up, basically. But I am excited to see where it goes. I wanted to read this book just to mix it up a little bit, because all of the other books that I'm hoping to read this month are by Anna Huang. So let's get into the next one. The next book on my TBR for this month is The King of Wrath by Anna Huang. King of Wrath is 381 pages long. I am actually on page 273 of this book, but I just want to finish it this month. That's the goal. I am quite enjoying this book, and I say quite because I was hoping it would be a little bit more slow burn than it was. We kind of went from 0 to 100 pretty fast, and I would have liked a little bit more yearning. A little bit more yearning, a little bit more tension building before we got straight into the we are in love section, you know? We'll see, because I still have a little bit left, so naturally something's got to go wrong before the end. For a lowdown of this book, it's the first book in the Kings of Sin series, which consists of 5 books, all to do with billionaires named after, like, the different sins.
Oh,
I
wow.
think that was probably obvious, but this one, wrath. He's angry. Rah. And his name is Dante. He is rich, as most guys called Dante are, I feel. And the other main character's name is Vivian, and they enter into an arranged marriage. Great. And basically, Vivian's father blackmails Dante into getting engaged. His daughter. Naturally, Dante doesn't want to be engaged to Vivian, so he plans on destroying the evidence and then destroying the whole family, just for good measure.
Oh.
I haven't got to that bit yet, and I'm feeling a bit of trepidation. But like I say, I am enjoying it. Just feel that we could have had a bit more anticipation before we got into, like, the proper romance. They are in love, they are together part. But I'm not going to make a final judgment because I haven't finished reading it yet. These are just my thoughts so far. So yes, I would like to finish that this month. But enough said about King of Wrath. I have 2 books left, and these 2 are just kind of, if by some miracle I finish the other ones, I will read one or both of these. But the next one is King of Pride by Anna Huang, which is the second book in the Kings of Sin series. We're going for lots of series here. That's why I wanted to put the Rebel Rose one in, just to break up the series a little bit, and to give me a little bit of a break from poor Anna. Anna Huang always has the prettiest covers on her books. I love the covers. Look at the feathers, so cute. King of Greed has 350 pages. But this one is about some guy called Kai and some gal called Isabella. In keeping with the Kings of Sin, this one's Pride. I feel I'm stating the obvious here. As is the case in Twisted Love, this series does revolve around, like, a friendship group kind of situation. So Isabella is... What is her name? I just said her name. What the frick is her name? Bitch, what is your name? Vivian. Isabella is Vivian's friend, and Kai is some other rich guy that we met in the first book.
Yeah.
Great. He seems really nice, actually, but he's like a really serious CEO type guy, very work focused, whereas Isabella is crazy. She has, like, purple hair. Whoa. She's edgy and cool, and she, like, works at a bar, and she's just having a grand old time in her life. So very much opposites attract kind of situation, but opposites they are, and attract they do. That's pretty much it. What more can I say? It sounds like a grand old time. I like the fact that the front, it's purple, and her hair, it is purple. But I'm very excited for this one. I feel like the Anna Huang books are always like a safe bet because they always have a happy ending. So I do like the fact that as much as loads of bad stuff can happen during the book, you know that at the end it will all turn out okay. One thing about me is I do not like a sad ending in my books. I hate it. It ruins the whole thing for me. And I feel there's enough sad things going on in the world. Why do I read if it is not to escape the sad reality of life into a happier world? Why would I be trying to escape into a sad world? That's what I want to know. Lock back in, girl. But coming back from this tangent, I do feel that the Anna Huang books are always kind of a safe bet in terms of it's a good romance and it's a good ending. You know? So I'm excited to see where this one takes us. And the 6th and final book on my June TBR is, drumroll please, can anyone guess who it's by? King of Greed by Anna Huang. Shocking news, shocking. I'm shocked. Pretty cover. Sorry, shove that in your face. Oh my gosh, so aggressive. There it is. Very pretty. I don't think we're going to get to this one, but we live in hope. I'm an optimistic gal. So, The King of Greed, it's 321 pages long, and it is about a married couple.
Wow.
Bit different. So our main characters are Dominic and Alessandra, right? And they are married. But basically, Dominic worked his way from nothing to being some super rich guy, and along the way, he lost sight of what truly mattered, the love of his life, Alessandra. And so he just kind of has been taking her for granted for years and years and years, and she's had enough. So she says, Dominic, no, no more. I'm leaving you. But Dominic is having none of it. And I believe that that is where our story starts. So I'm excited to read this one, actually. It feels a bit different to the normal Anna Huang ones because it's kind of like second chance romance situation. They're married. She doesn't want to be married to him anymore because he low-key sucks. And he's like, oh my god, you're kind of right. I do low-key suck. Let me fix that. Oh, this will be interesting. I'm really excited to read this one. So that is it. That is my June TBR. Any that I don't read in June will just be carried over into July's TBR. And I'm hoping that this can be a monthly thing where maybe I'll do a what I read this month and what I plan to read next month, like smushed into one. I don't know. I think that might be cool. I just heard the wildest skid to ever exist out on that road. That was crazy town. We have a 30 mile per hour speed limit, right? I'm not sure that you were going 30 miles per hour to be making that wheel spin. Anyways, I will come back to you and let you know if I did manage to read all of the books. But yeah, that's everything. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you want to know if I do manage to read all of the books, subscribe, and then you can find out. Thank you for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.